Chief Financial Credit Union. I'm sorry, we have a couple more people joining in, so I'm just going to welcome them really quickly. If you're just signing on, welcome to our webinar. We have been doing a series of these since we went into the stay home and stay safe order from the governor. We have more scheduled. We have next week, we have Mr. Vince Gotko from Finner Malmstrom and Julian will be covering the CARES Act and anything you could possibly want to know about that. And the following week, we're going to be focusing on retail and best practices for reopening. So that will definitely, if you know a small business owner or a small business manager who specializes in that, please invite them to join us. For this morning, we are covering small business marketing. And we would like to thank Chief Financial Credit Union for their support. They are offering, they've partnered with us in a number of ways during this time to support small businesses, and we're very thankful for them. And I guess with that, I'll turn it over to our guest speakers today. We have two who are going to be presenting. Ashley Workmeister is the Director of Business Development for Chief Financial Credit Union and will be speaking at the second half. And for now, Cheryl Boudram, VP of Sales and Marketing for Chief Financial. I'll let you take it away. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Everyone can hear me okay, right? Ashley, thumbs up? Okay. Fantastic. So thank you guys for joining us today. We're super, super excited about this, and we love our partnership with the Chamber. Small business marketing. I'm going to get in. I didn't provide a bio because I have a little one up here. But really, what I think is so important for everyone to know about me and marketing is that I found it by complete accident. I am 100% a numbers nerd. I started at Chief Financial in 2010 as a part-time teller and worked my way up. And I came up through our indirect lending department. I first transitioned into marketing in 2016 when our CEO gave me the task of establishing the marketing department at Chief Financial. Some attempts had been made by others in the past, and it just didn't really work out. So with one marketing class from college, about 10 years past, I embarked on starting a marketing department. So, I mean, needless to say, I knew nothing because in 10 years' time, marketing completely transforms. So I cut my teeth in marketing by reading, going to as many conferences as I could convince Tom to let me go to, buying coffee, breakfast, lunch, or dinner for anyone that was established in marketing that would come sit with me and chat with me and let me pick their brain and ask them questions. I did eventually go back to OU to finish my bachelor's program, or my bachelor's, so I did in business. And then in 4 weeks, 6 days, and 8.5 hours, I will be finishing my MBA with concentrations in marketing and analytics. So not that I'm counting.
She's not counting down.
So I feel like I sort of got my street cred in marketing before I got my book credentials, but I do have those. I think that marketing is misunderstood a lot. I think people separate it from advertising when advertising is really a tool of marketing. So intentional spacing here, to me, marketing is everything. I think to small businesses, sometimes marketing can be everything. But to complete that sentence, that is involved in creating strategic position. So strategic position, I don't have to tell any small business owner that, you want to be strategically positioned compared to your competition. And, that involves everything from creating the value proposition to talking about the value proposition and converting that into sales and affecting the bottom line. Another buzzword that gets passed around a lot is brand, the brand. We got to think about the brand. And it can be confusing. My favorite quote of it to describe a brand is from Jeff Bezos, and your brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room. Mayor Barnett of Rochester Hills has called it your reputation when you're not around. And that's quite literally it. I think a very, very important thing for people marketers, ambassadors of a brand to remember is that we often think too much of the role that we actually play in creating a company's brand. Most of the perception of your business is happening, quite frankly, when you don't know it is. Word of mouth is still king. Sorry for the background noise. That's my dog shaking. At least he's not barking yet. So most of that is happening when we're not around. I can't take credit for this image. It is linked to the source when I send these slides out, but most of these brands, when you see them, there's a feeling that stirs. There's something you think of. I actually have incorrect perception of Coca-Cola because I thought that it was Coca-Cola that Cindy Crawford did the commercials for, and then after I researched it for this, it was actually Pepsi. But then, you know, the way your brain works, you connect those to memories. So the Cindy Crawford commercial that I don't think anyone can forget, although I misplaced the brand. And then the fact that when I was younger, I wanted to be 5'10" because Cindy Crawford was, and I didn't quite make it there, so now I wear high heels. So all of these things that you connect to a brand and how people identify you, it goes far beyond the logo. It really goes into your memories, your subconscious, and many studies, by the way, when I send these out, I'll include the speaker notes because I don't put all of the information on the slide. This slide is the most content heavy. Studies have concluded that about 90% of our decisions are actually based on emotions. We are persuaded by reason, however, we are moved by emotion. So it's really, really important that our brand is strong from that level, but also consistent. Think about your brand like a person. When you're trying to decide who you want your brand to be, we give animals human traits, right? We like to identify human traits with anything. So describe your brand and what sort of traits you want it to have, and then stick consistently with that. You would not trust a person that consistently acted different. So it's really, really important that your brand stay consistent. You can do that a number of ways. That's basically just what your brand guidelines are. Hopefully in 2020, everyone knows that your logo shouldn't be stretched, although that is usually a page on your brand guidelines. But you really want to just formulate that out and then stay true to it, because that's going to help your customers recognize you when they see you. Everyone in the, well, most people in the world recognize the Walt Disney D. So their entire brand, you know, watching cartoons as a child, all brought back just by that D. So those things are really, really important as you're establishing this. There's many different channels of marketing communication. Those are listed there for you. To go into some detail, advertising, as I mentioned, can be very, very confused as marketing itself. It's not, it's just a tool in our tool bag. The primary goal of advertising is to create awareness. The secondary goal is conversions. The return on investment, if your only goal in advertising or if your main goal in advertising was conversions, would not be sufficient enough for what we spend on advertising. But as I'll get into later, it's still a very, very, very important goal. Promotion, that's that offer you're going to create to get people to take some action, to click on something, to buy something, to refer something. If you're doing social, which we're going to talk about, to share your post. Sponsorships, which we do a lot of, that's part of our partnership with the Chamber. PR is my favorite because that's creating buzz without spending any money. And then obviously direct marketing that you're sending direct. And as I mentioned, word of mouth is still king. So influencer marketing has become gigantic. Like her nut, Kim Kardashian, is a queen at influencer marketing. I feel like she kind of started the genre. But now you can have influencers that aren't even big celebrities. So what I really want to get into is the platforms that I found quite literally by mistake as I stumbled through becoming a marketer that are inexpensive. Because a lot of the conferences I would go to, I would see these platforms and these resources that were absolutely amazing, like mouth-watering for a marketer, but then they cost hundreds of thousands of dollars and they're made for gigantic companies. And I quite literally sometimes still, I'm a one-person marketing department. So I needed stuff that was affordable, and that's what I'm sharing today. Canva is my absolute favorite. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Canva. I consider myself a fairly intelligent person, and for the life of me, I cannot figure out InDesign. That platform, anyone that knows InDesign, I mean, you have my utmost respect, because there have been so many late nights with me yelling at my computer, you know, YouTube up on one side or LinkedIn Learning up on one side and InDesign on the other, and I just can't get it, but I can rock Canva. So I've put on each one of these slides what the subscription level that I am at, but if you look over here when I send them, there is a link to their pricing page. So Canva, I'm just gonna drill in really quick on these. This is what the Canva homepage looks like. I actually have two Canva accounts. I have a personal one, and I have the one that I pay for, and I have the one that is Chief Financials account. Anyone that isn't familiar with this, it's just a gift to marketers that don't have a graphic designer or don't know graphic design. Graphic design jobs, which I should say, I do have a graphic designer that I love and that we use. But if it's something simple, if it's something that I can turn around quickly, I usually make it in Canva. Quick overview. Sizing of things has become tremendously important. And that's where sometimes you can end up stretching your own logo because it'll need to be uploaded in a specific size area. Super easy way to make sure that your logo never stretches and using Canva is just coming over here, entering in whatever the dimensions are for wherever you're uploading your logo. And then you can go ahead and move your logo into that size and then download it. So they have some sizes already programmed in for you. If you are looking for something that you don't see, let's say you want to make sure that you have a meme that is sized right for LinkedIn, just Google, you know, what size should I have for my LinkedIn picture? And it'll tell you the size, and then you can come over here and do custom design. Instagram, so just to kind of give you guys a feel for how it works, they have a ton of really fun sort of layouts, designs that you can steal from. Quick and easy. So if you wanted to, I don't know if you're talking about, you're selling lemonade, you can come in here. You can use the fonts that are already in here, or you can change them. Super similar to like Word, anything like that you've used. They've got a lot of the fun fonts. You can change coloring. You can see that I have the Chief Financial page with all of our brand guidelines already uploaded. So these are our brand primary colors and our brand secondary colors. So I can, you know, change this to be on brand just by changing that. Obviously, then I'd have to go in and change some of the fonts, but super easy to kind of change that layout. Super easy to resize things. If you wanted to do it, you want less layout, but you want to do a different picture, you can just, let me see if can drag that into the background. That one doesn't really make too much sense, but you see how easy it is to switch it out. And then my absolute favorite is the back button. Probably my most used feature of Canva is that back button. But you can go ahead and come over here to download. You can pick what file type you need. Chances are if you're sending an ad to someone or something like that, they're going to tell you what file type they want. That can be really confusing if you're working, say, like a Microsoft Publisher or something like that, which is, I think, was the norm for people that didn't have graphic design software prior to this. Now you can even create GIFs, so you can add some movement into some of the stuff you create. So just a lot of really, really great options here and super easy to use. You can also create things with transparent backgrounds, which is helpful so you don't get that copy and paste type feel. if you've created one design for your Facebook page and then you want to put it on Twitter, and I'm going to show you when we go into Sprout later, they don't really show right. They will if you click into it from Twitter, but if you're just like, it's not really thumb stopping, and that's what we go after in social, thumb stopping content. So you can see that I've created this design. This is a meme that we shared on our Facebook page today, and I need to share it for Twitter. So I can just go over here to resize, and then I can pick, I wanna change it to be Twitter appropriate. It automatically changes it for me, and then I can go in here and move anything that I might need to move around. I can publish straight to my social if I connect my social media accounts right here. I schedule, so I would just download a PNG. It lets you know it's preparing your design for you, and then it'll be on my computer once I save it. So right here. And I am going to save that for something I'm going to show you in just a second. So I highly recommend go out in Canva, just click stuff as much as you can. If you have your branding colors already, upload them. It makes it easier. If you haven't set them, find out what colors you like when you do your designs and use those as your branding colors. So Canva is huge, really goes into keeping brand. Like I said, I'm a big numbers nerd, so let's get into some numbers. 72% of customers would rather learn about a product and service by way of video. So we're gonna transition into the importance of using video in your marketing strategies. This can most often be the most difficult thing, especially for a one-person marketing crew with a very limited budget. Videos are expensive. Unless you're able to really do it yourself, and then you have to get into the editing. Editing a video can take hours and hours and hours of your time. So still super important. 82%, video is expected to make up 82% of internet traffic by 2021. Now I will share with you a stat that I heard at a 2018 conference that by 2020, Facebook was going to be nothing but video and no text. We all go on Facebook, we've seen that isn't true. But I will say that all the numbers show that video content is rising. So it's definitely something you need to have in your mix. 48% social media posts with video have 48% more views. Now there's some information that I'll get to on a further slide about the length of the video that matters, but they just get engaged with more. 52% of marketers say video is the type of content with the best ROI. Now remember, we really have to focus on how we're affecting that bottom line. So ROI is going to be important. And 83% of marketers would increase their reliance on video as a strategy if there were no obstacles like time, resources, and budget. Now, I came across this Next platform completely by accident. They had a phenomenal social media marketing strategy, and they correctly targeted me as a marketer. And that's how I found in my Facebook feed Promo. Promo is a little bit more expensive. It's $69 per month is the plan that we're on. But just to give you guys some reference, there's some videos that I have contracted out that are, a minimum of $1,000, a minimum of $3,000. And quite literally, the most intensive time was shooting and editing. So I'm gonna go over here to, sorry, let me close some of these out. This is the Promo platform. So what it is it's a bunch of canned videos that you can edit and put your own wording over. You can pick your own sound and just really make, they do have some templates already too. So you might come out here for something you need and they already have it ready. So let's say that you're a small business and you want to let people know, hey, me online. So sorry if you guys heard that sound. This is already made. So if I choose to use this, my logo is automatically going to appear here. I can choose different screens. So square, for Instagram, you're going to want a square video. It doesn't show up right. The other format you're going to want for YouTube or Twitter. And then they do have the mobile. Most people look at Facebook on mobile, and then the videos that take up more of the screen actually do better with engagement. Super, super easy platform to use. Like I said, InDesign makes me go crazy. Video editing software, about the same. I tried to play with Adobe editing, and I failed miserably, but Promo has been my godsend. And for any of you that have taken a look at Ashley's LinkedIn, some of the videos she shares that I think, Ashley, you've gotten pretty good feedback on, we've made within Promo. So
Yes, absolutely. Video is definitely becoming king, and the videos that we have created, we've worked really closely together to do that and really keep a positive image that is consistent with our brand, but very realistic to the average consumer. We don't want to be unapproachable in any way.
yeah, and you'll see a lot of people go off to social, especially just looking for fun videos. So, you know, stay on brand, but you can have some fun. I don't know if it's going to be loud again. I don't know how that sound comes through, but here's one, you know. So that took me about, I don't know, 20 minutes to make. Not even really. So just to do a really quick, if you want to start a new project, of course my internet's going to run a little bit slower because I'm sharing screen. And you know, you can search, do something relevant for right now, washing hands. So, you know, they've got, you get to see a little preview of what that video is going to look like. Really cool. You can upload your own video and then edit with the text on top. You can, like clicking customize. So you can go in and change how long each one of these messages is appearing on the screen. Sometimes if the video, this is a short one, you can change the length of the video if you want it to be smaller. If you do eventually want to get into like YouTube pre-roll, those are like 5 seconds sometimes. So you could even shorten it and just do, you know, if you don't want this middle message in here, you can just delete it. You can do a ton within this platform that's really going to help your brand look like you're producing a lot of video content, get the message across. And then I'm going to talk about this later for social. The majority of videos on Facebook are watched without sound. So even though they have this gigantic music library that you can pick from, you're having the text on the video is really going to help you get that message across both if someone's watching it without sound and doesn't click on your video. And I don't know about you guys, but I generally have the sound off on most of my social media platforms.
Typically, yes, I do too.
Yeah, so, and I will watch captions all day long. So I don't know how that started, but I think that's how most people are actually behaving on social media these days. So Promo, I can't emphasize it enough. They do have lower priced plans. They have higher price, but I think it's like for enterprise plan or something like that. I've never needed to use it. So definitely a huge advocate for Promo. And I should say these companies are not paying me to endorse them. This is actually my experience with them. I'll approach them for payment later. No, I'm just kidding. So important things to remember with video. So again, 52% of marketers say video has the type of content that has the best return. 85% of Facebook videos are watched without sound. But please keep in mind that attention is a limited commodity. So 33% of viewers are going to fall off after the first 30 seconds, 45 after the first minute, and then 60% will not watch to 2 minutes. So something to definitely keep in mind. Now, going back a little bit to when I said word of mouth is king, word of mouth is an old expression. We now consider word of mouth online reviews and recommendations. So 72% of customers won't take action until they've read the reviews. 81% of millennials trust online reviews as much as they trust their friends and family. 70% of consumers need to read at least 4 reviews before they can trust a business. And 53% of Americans consider product reviews and ratings as the most crucial attribute. That's as of 2018. I couldn't find any more recent stats, but I feel like that number has probably increased, especially now that our online shopping has gone through the roof. And 68% positive reviews encourage 68% of consumers to use a local business. So super, super important that local businesses are working to get those reviews in. And here's the tricky part of reviews, right? You don't have to ask for a negative one. People are more than willing to go out if they've had a bad experience, if they're upset, and leave, you know, some nasty review out on Google or Facebook. But we don't readily think to do it, you know, when we've had a positive experience. So it's okay to ask for those though. In this platform, actually our CEO, Tom, who's on the line right now, found this platform and sent it to me, and it has been a life changer. So Reputation Stacker, we pay $79 a month. That's the level that we're at. It's a platform that lets you easily collect reviews. And I know you're probably thinking, like, why wouldn't I just tell people to go out to Google? Well, because it also stops you from the negative reviews getting out there. So I'm going to show you how, I can't get. I'm going to show you how the platform looks. Super easy to set up. This is what the inside looks like. So I set up what our logo looks like. I can set up coloring. I set up that we're asking people to leave things like stars. We have 3 locations out here right now. We'll be adding a profile for Birmingham soon. Super excited. So each of them have a different profile. And if I click here, it's going to take me, this is what someone's going to see if I just send them the link. So let's say I want to rate our Pontiac location. It's going to ask me, how was my experience? Tells you what the stars mean. If I select 4 or 5, it's going to ask me to go out to one of the platforms. Let's see if I can easily, it's going to ask me to go to Google or Facebook and leave a review. If I select 3 or less, it comes up with this form. So this is super, super important. I've got some more stats on the next slide. Negative reviews online can really hurt you. And it's really hard, trust me, to fight to get a review taken down, even when you can prove it's a blatant lie. So you're gonna wanna catch these before they hit your Google account. If the person enters their feedback, it then sends me an email with their contact information and what they wrote. And then what it gives is it gives me another opportunity or someone at our organization to sort of make up for that experience, resolve that experience, and quite frankly, to even know something is going on. Sometimes there's an issue that's happening, you know, in your operational process that you have no idea is even happening. And the majority of customers, unfortunately, that have a bad experience, I think it's like 70%, just go away. They don't say anything. They don't tell you anything. They just don't come back. They will tell their friends and family about the negative experience, but they won't tell you. And it's really, really hard from a numbers nerd, analytic geek to find out why people stopped purchasing from you or going through you for a service. So this is a great way for you to catch that, hopefully make it a better experience. I nerd out when I can take one of these negative experiences and turn it into a good experience and then end up getting a 5-star review. So this platform has been a lifesaver in us collecting reviews and us improving our rating on Google. There is a way that you can send this to people. So you can either embed, they have really cool widgets. They just give you the code. So if you manage your own website, it's pretty easy to just, you know, input the code where it tells you to. If you have someone that's managing your website, you just send them the code and it pops up exactly, the code is associated with how it's gonna show. Review requests. So if you want to email someone this link, or if you want to text message them, you're just gonna enter their information in here. It sends them a text message or email almost immediately, and then you can watch the reviews come in. Another thing, there are so many platforms that people can review you on now. So what Reputation Stacker does is, even though the request or the review didn't go through them, they notify me every single day of every review that we've got on most of the major platforms. So that way I'm not caught off guard. And again, if there's something happening in our operational platform or process that we're not even aware of, we can really work to correct that. So this, you know, without just sucking up because our CEO is on the call, has been a godsend. This platform has been absolutely fantastic. So to just go over some more quick
We've got, Cheryl, we've got about 10-ish minutes before we want to wrap up the first portion.
Yep. Ash is keeping me on task. She knows it. So Google still accounts for the most reviews. Most people go to Google to leave a review and to see a review. Yelp is second. TripAdvisor, which I think would be particular industry. And then Facebook is still important too. Local businesses on average have 38 Google reviews. Now, we opened our Rochester location just a couple years ago, and we have 131 Google reviews for that location already because of Reputation Stacker and because of us nagging our staff to ask people for positive reviews. Again, you don't have to ask people for the negative ones. They're gonna go out there and do that, but you wanna ask for the positive ones. And we've had some, like I told you, that I tried to fight Google on and say, this is a complete lie. This person, it's not in my idea of fun to go out and leave negative reviews at businesses I've never done business with, but some people, I don't know, you know, to each their own. So what's really nice is being able to kind of bury those with real positive reviews. I absolutely do not endorse going out and leaving fake reviews or buying reviews. They're pretty easy to be, you know, seen through. If you're out there, you know, doing what you do as a small business and doing a good job, people are going to want to help you and leave a positive review. More than 4 negative reviews may decrease sales by 70%. Now, that number of 4 is when you're talking about only 38 Google reviews. If you start getting up in the hundreds of reviews, those negative ones are gonna go lower to the list. Make sure you interact with the people that are leaving reviews on your business. Google's algorithm isn't simple math, like this is how many stars you got and the average is this amount. It actually ranks ones that have been engaged with higher, they're weighted more, and then the thumb up or thumb down on the reviews can help weight as well. And then 81% of consumers were willing to pay more for a product with reviews, and also would put up with slower shipping time. And then just, you know, personal observation, when my husband and I were in Austin, I was using Google Maps to find places to eat, and they weren't listed in order of distance. Don't get me wrong, there wasn't like one that was 15 miles away. We were downtown, so they were pretty close, but they were listed in order of reviews, highest review. So, and we used that to pick where we ate. We've gotten feedback from people when we ask them why they opened a membership with us that says, I read your reviews. So it does work, and it makes a huge difference. Going into the importance of social social can be very stressful. Ashley is going to tell you about being a guru on LinkedIn, and I am envious of how religiously and diligent she is about posting. It's hard to come up with content and be posting all of the time. For me, it's easier when I can sit down on a weekend and plan out 2 or 3 weeks worth. But there's no doubt that social is important. So 97% of digital consumers have used social media in the past month. 90% of Americans between 18 to 29 use social media. 52% of online brand discovery happens in public social feeds. So just like my experience with promo video, I found them. I didn't know about their brand at all before I saw them on a social feed. And 43% of internet users use social media when researching things to buy. And I can say that recently I've really been doing this as well. Now, it's quite entertaining to me that all of my sources for these are from Hootsuite, which is a platform you can use for scheduling. I use Sprout. I've just found some things that they offer as part of their platform to be really advantageous to me. So this is what my Sprout account looks like, the Chief Sprout account looks like. So if I want to preview, this is Twitter. I scheduled it to not go out yet. Facebook already went. If I want to preview what this post is going to look like, you can see if someone's looking at it on a desktop, it's going to show up all right. But if they look at it on mobile, like it kind of looks funny, right? So here's where I can go ahead and quickly edit. Hopefully it's going to work. So I can quickly add that image that we downloaded from Canva, update the post, and make sure that it's going to look better. So now you can see in the mobile view, it is updated how that's going to look for someone. It's going to look a little bit cleaner, more professional. And then if I want to schedule days and times, it also has this tool that I love. It monitors how people engage with your accounts. And then it tells me what the optimal times are for me to make this post, which is great. You're switching up your times. You're posting when your people that engage with your account, your organic social, so your unpaid social are on. I just simply select it. And then I can, let's say it's something I want to run like 3 or 4 times. I can add another day and then just pick another day. So it's a lot less work. I hit schedule and now it's scheduled to go out. You can see some of the other things that I have here. If you need to find content, and I haven't done this in a while, but if you want to share articles, you can come out here. You can, finance and investing is one of my active filters. So it'll give me that relevant information. You're not gonna wanna hard sell on organic social that often. You soft sell, but you're not gonna wanna hard sell. And Ashley will talk more about that in her piece. Also, it will let you keep stuff out here in your asset library. And then you can also spy on your competitors. So I can go out here and I've uploaded different competitors that I'm watching, and it'll tell me how I'm doing in my social efforts compared to them, organic only. So those are the 4 platforms that I've found that are super, super helpful. Important things to remember about social. Again, there's a ton of information out here like this graph that shows, motivations for using social media, by age group. So find your target market, find where your customers are. This is my piece of advice, and focus there. Be great at one or a few platforms rather than just okay at all of them. And please don't get caught up in the fluff analytics that social media offers. When especially agencies will tell you like, oh, you got this much reach on a post and this much exposure. I don't know about you guys, but I can scroll pretty fast with my thumb. And just because I scrolled past your ad doesn't mean that it made any impression on me. Also, the true talent in social media is maintaining the delicate balance between not going down that rabbit hole after the shiny object and still keeping up with the trends. There's a lot of shiny objects in social media. Please make sure that you're staying true to your brand. I can lose 3 hours real fast on TikTok, but I don't really see Chief Financial being represented out there. Or maybe I need to find out how, but
I got some dance moves.
yeah, right. Some additional resources, Google My Business. Please set up your Google Business account. Please put your hours out there. Please make sure your information is accurate. Google Ads. So Google AdWords, Google Display Ads, YouTube, all of that, the link that I have here is to free training. All of it is free. Certification in those areas is all free. And then LinkedIn Learning is not free. It's a setting on your account. I'm not going to go too far into it because that's Ashley's the guru of LinkedIn, but I have that membership in LinkedIn, and I have taken tons of classes that would have cost tens of thousands of dollars at university. So those are out there. And then finally, marketing, I feel really strongly about this. Marketing is no longer a field for those who do not like numbers and analytics. If we are going to push forward and claim our seats at the decision-making table, we must connect what we are doing to the bottom line. Return on investment can be measured in many ways, even some that don't come with a dollar sign. The important thing is that it must be measured. We must measure return on what we're doing. So that was just my brief portion of this. Like I said, I cut my teeth in marketing by talking to marketers and reaching out to people. I am 100% available for virtual meetings, conversations, quick questions. I put all of my contact information. Please be kind if you visit my website. It is under construction. I'm building it myself on weekends, so but it's out there. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. And with that, I will turn it over to Ashley. I know that she did give Kelly a bio, but I will tell you, I've known Ashley for a very long time. She calls us the dream team on LinkedIn, and I cannot tell you how much respect I have for Ashley and everything that she does. And I don't know if she gives herself enough credit for how much she figured out LinkedIn on her own and really went out there and made it work. She told Tom and I that she was doing it, and we were like, cool, great. And now she sends us screenshots of how many engagement and comments she gets. And I mean, she's a champion at everything she does, but definitely of LinkedIn. So
Thank you. Let's see. All right. There we go. I'm unmuted, right? Okay. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Good Lord. I'm so excited. Good thing I'm sitting in a room. My head would be big. So I had Cheryl share my LinkedIn page. This is what you would see when you go on there. And I have worked diligently to put it in this format by using very basic tools that I found on LinkedIn. Going back to Chief Financial Credit Union's page as a whole, we as a marketing team realized that needed to be built up. Well, I found out about LinkedIn, and I found out that this was a strictly professional platform, and I was instantly intrigued. So I said, I'm going to go out there and give it a shot. And I started posting about events I was at, and I started posting about people I interacted with, and I started to connect with individuals that had LinkedIn accounts. And I quickly realized this was essentially a free tool that I could use to show not only my strengths within, as an individual, as a professional individual, but highlight why I work at Chief, why I do what I do, and what I feel as the best attributes within my organization. Now, I think today I want to focus a little bit more on the current situation we're in, because I think it's very important in LinkedIn and overall to have a delicate balance. So there are many social media platforms. I don't know of everyone that's out there. TikTok, we're just gonna, I could dance for Chief. That's what we'll put on TikTok. But For me, LinkedIn is strictly professional. I put posts about them, community engagements we do, everything is chief focused. I represent my company to the fullest. Whenever I engage with anybody else, it's represented to the fullest. And that was my main goal with LinkedIn. Now, this doesn't mean you have to go down that same path. One of my very great networking affiliates, Michael Crank, who works at the Royal Park Hotel, really loves to do those videos that Cheryl had mentioned. Now, the key about that is to go at your own pace. If you know Michael Crank, you know he's got a lot of energy, and he was knee deep in it ahead of the game. I'm still getting comfortable doing those videos, and I'm getting comfortable through working with Cheryl, through recording myself and actually sending it to people and getting advice back. But it's important to go at your own pace and to not make it feel forced. My posts, going back to what we're going through right now, are written by me. I know Cheryl had mentioned posting them out, but my posts come out at the same exact time that I'm typing them. And when we had originally had this conversation, Cheryl, myself, and our CEO, we had decided very quickly that it was going to maintain in my voice. So I work closely with Cheryl. If it's direct product related, I try to work directly with Cheryl to ensure that we have the proper disclaimer and what have you on there, but it is still in my voice how I feel about the situation, which is very important. We found people relate to the individuals of the company more than the company page itself. It leads them back there, and that is our main goal. So going back to today and some of these skills that I think is important to learn, especially during this whirlwind of a pandemic we're in, so to speak, and you can see by some various posts, and Cheryl will scroll down, of what I've actually been doing lately in regards of posting. Right now, I think this is pretty obvious, you know, LinkedIn 101, it is not the time to hard sell. Do not send somebody, whether it be an email, DM on LinkedIn, or your post. Right now, even your soft sales skills need to be softened. They need to be drawn back. Right now is the time about, and if you could pause right there for me, Cheryl, right now is about the time of connecting, and this is actually a video that goes back to what she was just talking about. Now is the time to connect with individuals on a personal level while still maintaining that professional balance. So this brings a little bit of light to the situation, one of the products we have, but it's personable. And that's what we as a credit union want to be. We want you to come to us and value us as a whole, a resource as a whole. And right now we recognize the importance of building those relationships. One thing I do want to touch on is these wellness checks that I've seen go around. I get them obviously from my mother-in-law and my family members, what have you. If you choose to do a wellness check on LinkedIn, make sure it's with somebody that you're comfortable with. John Eisenberg, I don't know if you have yet, but you should send me a wellness check. John and I have a very close networking John and I have a very close networking relationship. We're in a couple of groups together, and a wellness check from him would really feel warm-hearted. If I get one from a complete stranger or somebody I've met one time, I feel like there's an ulterior motive behind it, and that's extremely important to avoid right now. With anything, it's about building the relationship, and even as you move along the conversation, don't look at it ever as a sale pitch, especially right now. Use it as a way to find the tools and the resources your clients or potential clients or even people that need advice have, because that is going to come back tenfold in the years to follow. My notes are on the top page if you see me looking up. Now, more than ever, focus on your connections that you have, those wellness checks. Maybe go back and do connections through, you know, sending a message. That's always the most personal way of doing it. And share and support your community. If you want to scroll up just a little bit, I like to start my weeks with a motivational post. Nancy, we've had her speak at Chief events. She's a Leadership Oakland graduate, she's a speaker there. This woman is very well-rounded, and I value her opinion greatly. So I share her posts willingly on my wall. And it is, again, not a sales pitch. It's about accepting where we're at right now and creating what is yet to be. It's very inspirational to me, and it's important to put out those types of things that still maintains professional balance, but gives it that personal touch that I genuinely want people to feel at this time, because that's what I do. Now, Cheryl may say I don't give myself enough credit, but she doesn't give herself enough credit either, because if she so chooses to scroll down, Cheryl actually took the time to create her own blog. I think it's a little bit down. Yes, there it is. She wrote her first blog. So take this time that you have to get out of your comfort zone, because that was not her comfort zone, and try new things. Now, I went ahead and shared it, so that's probably more exposure than she wanted. But it was it's great for to have a leader that gets outside of their comfort zone, because now I'm inspired to do these videos more than anything. But I want to be unique about my videos, right? I want them to stand out. This blog stands out. Its content stands out because it is, you know, it's about what we're going through right now, and it's personable. It's still on that professional level, but it's not a salesy pitch. And I feel like blogs are getting very foggy in the area of how people choose to write them. So this was an amazing read. You should check it out, my page or her page. And along with kind of supporting your community on that way, take the time to write recommendations, endorse people. I think, Cheryl, if you want to scroll back to the top, you can endorse people. I think at the very top, it asks you if you want to endorse somebody for something. Write reviews for people that you're close with. We had a member through Chamber that wrote a really good review for me because she had the time to review everybody in our business development group that we were in. And that was very awesome for her. And that was organic and it wasn't forced. And having somebody do that for you willingly, it's just a great feeling. And always return the favor. You know, we always want to give back what we get. And it's very important right now more than ever to take the time to build those individual relationships and follow through. I make it part of my daily routine, semi-daily, to post sometimes twice a day, to post on LinkedIn, because you want to stay consistent, you want to stay active, and you want to show consistently that your business is out there for your community. I'll wrap it up here pretty quick. One thing I also wanted to touch on, you know, we all want to be positive during this time, right? We always want to see the silver lining, but let's face it, we all have our roller coaster days. Some days we're not okay, and some days we're really great, and some days we can accept this, and some days we can't. And we always want to try to keep a positive outlook, especially when you're on a professional platform like LinkedIn. But it's okay to realize that everybody is in the same boat. It's okay to admit that that uncertainty can be unnerving for any type of business. It doesn't matter, nonprofit, financial institutions, marketing firms, law offices, everybody is affected by this. And it's okay to acknowledge that. You know, it makes that connection that much stronger. Again, keeping it on a professional level, but making yourself relatable, that you know what people are going through, that your organization knows what people are going through. Last but not least, looking at this page, I have an emoji there. It kind of looks like a Band-Aid, I feel. Like it's supposed to be a link. It looks like a Band-Aid, but I'll heal anybody that but make your contact information visible. So yeah, obviously your name, I have my email right there. There's, you know, we could go into a deep dive about making your BitLink at the bottom, have your name directly, but you have to make your contact information exactly how you need it and the best way to reach you. So the best way to reach me is by email, because it's always attached to my hand. I have instant access to it. And if you say, give me a call at this number, I can give you a call back quickly. But if your preferred method is calling or texting, absolutely put that up there as well. Again, do what's in your comfort zone, but also every once in a while step out like Cheryl did. And now is the time more than ever to be able to do that. I think that kind of wraps up a broad overview of LinkedIn as it pertains to an individual, keeping in mind the entire time you are representing your organization, you're representing yourself and your passion for your organization, and just be realistic with that. And that's going to give you those best connections, those true connections.
Hey, Ashley, it's Joe Bauman. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're all set. I wrapped up. Great timing, Joe.
I do have a 12 o'clock meeting that I have to prepare a little bit for, so I'm going to have to leave a little early. I just wanted to thank Ashley and Cheryl for sharing their expertise with us today. It's great information. I know I've taken a lot of notes, and I'm sure that Samantha and Kelly both have as well. And I wanted to thank Tom also for sharing your staff expertise with the Chamber and for all you do to support the Chamber. You guys have been incredible partners in the short period of time that you've had a presence in Birmingham, and we are very, very grateful. So thank you to all of you. And I'm sure Kelly had mentioned it or will mention it, but this webinar, like all of our webinars, are being recorded, and they will be available to view on our website going forward. So we'll try to share your message and your tips with as many of our members as we can. So thank you all, and I hope among hopes to see all of you in person sooner than later. But thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe. With that being said, we have a few minutes left for questions. If anybody would like to ask Cheryl or Ashley a specific question about something that was covered today, we can take a couple of minutes for that before we wrap up. You can just speak up. Feel free to unmute yourself and speak question. Yeah, John, go ahead.
Hi, my question for Cheryl, and great job with everything today. I thought it was some great information. You spoke about Google Podcasts, great force of habit, Google business listings and having a listing on Google Business. I run my business out of my home, and I don't necessarily want my home address out there for the world. Do you have any thoughts on how to have a Google business listing when you're working out of your home?
Yeah, so that is really, really difficult. I would have to look into it further and get back to you on that. We've always had the physical address. I'm sure there's a way around it. I just don't know if they would do it to a PO box. I think they might. The reason I say that is because the way that Google confirms that it is your business, because they don't just let anyone take over control of an address, is they send a postcard to the address that you indicate.
Right.
So I would imagine that you could do that with a PO box. Now, I don't know if you have a PO box, but I can totally understand you not wanting that to be your home address, because there is no way that you can hide that. But it might be worth it to have it on a PO box. I have no idea how much PO boxes cost. I'm sorry. If they're reasonable, I think it would definitely be worth it. I mean, it's just, having that Google business listing come up, it really gives you an opportunity when someone's searching you directly to put what comes up in front of them.
Got it. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Cheryl or Ashley before we close out with
Yes.
closing comments?
Hi, this is Hiba. I just have a question for them related to which social media to use. So personally, I'm in real estate and I use Instagram the most. However, I'm not sure, depending on your business, which social media you should be, which platform you should be on. What do you think?
Yeah, so I didn't put the stats out there, but Facebook Live gets the most. So video period gets the most engagement, but Facebook Live gets the most engagement. And through real estate, I have friends in real estate, and them doing the lives through their homes, they're showing, just to pop on and answer questions live. That's been a really great tool for them. And since Facebook and Instagram are now owned, Facebook now owns Instagram, it's a really easy transition. I recommend it's called Facebook Business Manager. You can connect your company Facebook page and your company Instagram page within it. And then really, monitor your ads, your posts, reporting. I think that would be the easiest for that. I would, and Ashley, let me know if you agree or disagree, but I would say for you as a professional individual, LinkedIn. And I don't mean your company page. We have found much more success in Ashley posting reach and the response that it gets from a person posting than Chief Financial, the expert, right, posting on LinkedIn. So I would recommend company, Facebook, and Instagram, and then really, driving some of the same content from your personal LinkedIn. Do you agree, Ashley?
Absolutely, 100%. The industry that you're in is very unique, and everybody's business is going to be unique, but I would have to agree with how Cheryl said, approaching your specific business. And each, in your field, it's okay to look at others and how they are advertising, but I would absolutely agree with the Facebook, and especially the LinkedIn, being able to drive home your organization, what you do, so forth. Absolutely.
Great question. Thank you so much to Ashley and Cheryl and Chief Financial Credit Union. As Joe mentioned, they've been a wonderful support since they've entered the Birmingham community, and we thank you for that. We do have, like I mentioned at the beginning, some upcoming webinars and coffee breaks, so please join us for those if you need anything else. I don't know if Ashley or Cheryl want to add any other closing comments, but it is just after 12, so I want to be considerate of everyone's time. If you want to say anything, though, please feel free to wrap up. We're so thankful for everyone who's joined us, and thank you for coming today.
Yeah,
We hope to see you
absolutely.
soon. Yeah.
just really quick, our new location is going to be at 189 was it West Merle, I think.
Meryl?
Yes.
On Meryl? Yeah.
I have to get that on our website. That'll be up today. So we are not officially open, but Tom, if you look at Tom's camera right now, if he's still on, is hanging out in that branch if you want a sneak peek about what it
Behind the scenes.
But we do generally have people there if you want to swing in and get a peek behind the scenes before we're fully set up and maintain social distancing. We're supportive of that. Stop by and say hi. We have hand sanitizers right outside the door with Tom's business card, so you can pick up a hand sanitizer while you're there too.
That's great. Well, thank you again, and we're so glad for everyone who joined us today. We'll see you soon, I hope. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.